people.
Hello.
So how we all doing tonight?
Looking forward to the death I've been longing for.
How was everyone's day?
Fucking whatever, man.
Wow, look at fancy pants over here.
Per day. You mean.
Two.
Arrows, arrows, arrows in your face.
I think they were in my butt.
Ready to throw some more spiders. How about you guys?
Sweet, 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 sweet. Welcome back, everybody.
Oh!
Oh, oh. Okay.
Hello?
A 19-foot tall fire giant began stomping into the battleground just as we wrapped things up last session.
He had a doctor's appointment. He had to leave. He's like, sorry, guys.
Okay. Just to set the scene a little bit and look at the living world of Kelmora and Illustrands at large around you guys, a few little vignettes. We see a dim stone hallway illuminated by sporadically placed sconces. We see a pair of well-armored men of the cloth, their tabards bearing a lightning-crossed eye of gold. Clerics of Uladar. Euramond comes into view, the former traveling companion of some of the Wanderers, as he pushes a secreted brick with the end of his mace into the wall. Part of that wall swings inward. He looks up and nods to his mentor. Swiftly, and without words, they press into the newly revealed passageway and begin descending a set of stairs, drifting down into the darkness. Next, we see a gnomish tinkerer working on an armored gauntlet. As she works her delicate instruments at the clockwork inner workings of this gauntlet, the finger and wrist actuate and rotate until the palm is up and the fingers are arrayed wide open. Grinning, she plunges her too tiny hand into the comparatively large armored gauntlet and braces against it with her other hand. There is an audible whine as the gemstone, now visible in the palm of the gauntlet, flares and barks out an arcane blast. As the dust settles, the gnome pushes her goggles up and grins. Then, we see Cyril de Simond standing over a makeshift table. Nearby, she observes the charred ruins of her once opulent mansion. Laborers are pulling down the timbers that jut up like ribs of some giant charred beast. A man, covered in soot, approaches and holds out a fine jeweled necklace that seems to have survived the fire. Cyrilda smiles and places it on top of the plans for her new home. Beside her, standing stiffly, Shorthand regards the work with a cool expression. Finally, we see several armored guardsmen coming out of the entrance to a mine cut into the side of a rocky cliff. The heavy stone door, which is carved in arcane runes, normally seals the mine shut, but now stands wide open. 2 lighters are carried out, and 4 guardsmen coming into view now are walking in single file, carrying these lighters. First comes a nobleman, lying on this lighter with rings on his fingers and a face drained of all life. His throat is slit open wide in a crimson smile. The next body removed from the cave is a dwarven man, also in robes, but his chest and abdomen have been ruined by multiple puncture wounds, and some of his entrails spill out of a wide slash on his belly. The contorted face of Breth Jahurin locked in a mask of perpetual horror. It seems that some wight that the party had had dealings with in the past has achieved his goal. And now, several gnolls are about to take their turns and continue the fight with the party. Ibrahim, you take 4 damage from the gnoll's longbow attack. The other gnoll that was up in the tree is now going to take a shot at Spidery Boy. Deals 3 damage to one of your giant spiders. How long do the spiders last for?
Forever.
Okay. There is another gnoll that is engaged in hand-to-hand combat with Ibrahim, a blink dog, a giant celestial ape. So with that, we turn over to Moth. Your turn.
So the knoll that's in the tree here, ray of frost on that boy.
Girder, your turn.
So I'm going to hop on the back of this spider.
Oh my god.
He's like super into it. I'm just going to sort of whisper in spider language.
Oh my god. 16 damage from your spider?
Sweet.
Holy hell. Okay. And that brings it to Pitch's turn.
Everything is awful. Feeling a little spiteful. And I'm going to attempt to shoot an arrow at this boy. Fuck that guy.
Take the shot. Yeah, that hits. He's looking pretty badly fucked up. Haas, you're up.
So he's going to deliver some kung fu to that other knoll.
Give it up. Dog spittle flies out. Ibrahim, you are up. Yep.
Wonderful.
I hear some
Alrighty.
fairly loud background noise from someone.
It's coming from Crunchy Wuncher.
Crunchy washer, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Sounded like
hard.
he died.
Cool. I seem to remember being angry at the knoll. We're going to drop the hammer.
All right.
Let's try that again.
He's a crafty little guy. Dodges to the side as your attack lands nearby him.
We're just getting warmed up.
Uh,
Redeem me, Gertie. Redeem my failures. He looks like a great ape, but he hits like a regular ape. Very proudly.
All right, Berdan, you're up.
I'm going to attack up at him.
Okay. You skewer him as his attention is turned completely away from you. He is desicerated.
What a dick.
Panting in your face. Yeah, he's totally flexing on you, man. It is not cool. Which is going to bring us to the fire giant. Now seeing that Berdan is charging towards her, she's going to sword. And
Shit.
she's going to make 2 great sword attacks towards you, Berdan. Second one,
The 30 will hit.
30 slashing damage. Yes, you got it. Moth, top of the deck.
Fireball.
Ooh.
Okay. The woods are on fire.
I'm gonna command Spider in the tree to bite Null in the tree.
Bite, bite, bite.
Wicked. That's great. Yeah, I should probably Peter Parker. Fucking yeah, I want to do that. Wicked. 100% worth it. And that's it. I'm gonna park it there.
Pitch, you're up.
Well, I'm mostly just dead. I'm gonna send little Blinky Dog into battle for me.
All right, Hoss, you're up.
We'll call this like a Kirk-esque hard karate chop to the throat.
I'm going to mount Gertie up and
Saddle up.
leap into the fray and start heading towards the fire giant.
Okay. Berdan.
So Berdan took a really hard hit, like a shockingly hard hit last turn.
Yeah.
Even so, okay, I'm gonna make an attack.
Yes, 20 is going to make it.
Okay.
Like that. The implication-
Some damage on that
Jesus.
bitch.
Okay. Action surge.
Yep.
Yep.
Sweet. Yep, 22 hits.
15 damage.
Thank you very much, Berdan.
Form up on me. Form up. That's 29 damage so far. And then last attack, please. Oh,
Nice. Well
Holy
done, sir.
shit, dude.
20 damage.
Holy shit.
Fight Jesus. That's who Berdan is. He's Fight Jesus.
Thank you, Fight Jesus.
Seeing the tide of battle absolutely turned against him, the Knoll Pack Lord is going to disengage, just trying to run basically now. He's out of here. The fire giant, raising its glowing hot sword above its head, is going to make 2 attacks against the individual that has injured it so. Oh!
Someone's got too many spear wounds to swing that broad.
Yeah, so it swings it down and it sinks down into the ground beneath you. It loses its second attack this round. I believe, Girder, it's your turn.
Piss as much web onto the fire giant, like as much as you can.
Pitch, you're up.
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh my, roll
Holy
your
shit.
damage and roll your sneak attack damage
Jeez.
as well. And make sure to double your sneak attack damage as well. 3.
13 and 13 and then 13 again. It goes straight through her eye.
You definitely hit her in the neck.
We should rename our team from the Wanderers to Giant Fuckers.
Murderer.
Like we're just fucking this giant.
I'm gonna go hide behind this tree.
Hoss, you are up.
Let's expend a key point to attempt a paralyzing strike. Excellent.
He is stunned.
I don't like giants either.
You overcook it, and you actually fling a little bit wide of the giant.
Blast you, flaming beast. You already do what I cannot.
Nope. And yeah, nope, sorry. His fists clang uselessly off of the stunned giant's arm. So spiders in the groin and spiders in her face. Finally, guys, hey, we did it. It took us a couple of years, but we finally found a way to cast dick spiders on someone.
Oh my god, yeah. Perfect.
Yep.
You know that advantage that's like Double advantage.
Haas.
Here comes the kung fu.
As they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, and this one falls hard onto the ground. The party is left for a moment in stunned silence. The red-hot metal of the giant's armor has already begun to darken slightly. However, the shimmering air above the giant's corpse, which lies on the ground, does give you pause. While it may be slain, the heat that it is giving off could still be dangerous.
Haas leans down and lights smoke on the giant's smoldering body, leans back and exhales, saying, "A valiant foe."
I've taken a fair number of arrows from these gnolls. Anyone pull them from my body? Come pull them from my body.
Girder's hanging out with Hootie, eating meat.
Can we go from this place?
That's probably a good idea.
So you guys begin making your way away from the fire, which seems to continue to grow. So you guys push your way along the edge of the river through this gorge. The way gets more and more difficult after a time. The river seems to be heading uplands, and the party finds themselves trudging through shallow but swift-moving water. You can hear the sound of movement through the trees. Definitely reinforcements seem to be moving along the ridge top. Those reinforcements are backed up by another sound. As something very large makes its way through. Eventually, you guys make it to a waterfall that is crashing down. The noise has been getting louder and louder as you've been going. Haas, as you get up there, you see a few sets of footprints that look like they lead to the waterfall or up to behind it. Peering in, you can see a single human man with a bow strung over his shoulder. He's trying to hide, but there's not a lot of room to hide in behind these rocks, so...
Haas is going to quickly dash through the water towards the guy and attempt to tackle him.
There's almost no resistance.
Haas will attempt to gag him while saying, "Easy, boy, I am no cutthroat. You have nothing to fear."
What do you want from me? I have no money.
"What are you doing here?"
Hiding, isn't it obvious? The fire giant.
I don't think he knows anything. Let him go.
I need to get back to town.
Bring us there.
Haas is going to squeeze him even tighter and say, "Friends, this is,
Leo Tafer, if you please.
Leo. He will take us to a nearby town for shelter."
Just down the hill. Dawn's Breach, if you please. Ibrahim, at the mention of the town's name, Dawn's Breach, your ears perk up. In fact, it was the town that you set out from on your quest to wreck the nearby goblins that were harassing the town. You guys crest a hill in the woods, and under the cover of these trees, looking down, you can see this is the clearest path towards Grimstar. Dawn's Breach is kind of the midway point between Lubenek and Grimstar. So you guys are halfway up in the foothills, halfway up to the peak of this pass that heads through this area. And nestled in, you see a small town. And Ibrahim, from this distance, you now definitely recognize this place. Well, there is a new order to this town. Things have changed around here. The Crimson Wind are in charge of this town now. Ibrahim, you've never heard of this before, and you were here like 3 weeks ago tops.
Where is Elder Whittlemore? I have done great deeds for him, and things don't look quite the way I remember.
The yeoman, he's been ousted. His house is now where Flamespeaker Riga is set up. Rigo's Fury, watch over you. Good day, and he begins pulling away from the group. Up ahead of you is the tavern. Ibrahim, you see the sign which proclaims this location as the Lost Barrel.
Pitch desires nothing more than to get into a bed.
It just kind of has this nice frontier, simple construction feel to it. Standing behind the bar and raising a hand in greeting, you see a woman. She puts a hand up and nods, and uses that hand then to beckon the party over.
I'm gonna point at Gertie and say, "Watch Hootie."
I can foresee no issues with this.
Do you guys want to take a 5-minute break? That's it.
Shelter and libations for our party, madam, if you please.
I am preparing meal now. You will have, yes? I will bring you house specialties.
Does beer shoot out of all the holes in Pitch's torso?
Thankfully, I have the girder treatment so that I can just keep the beer inside of me.
So if I look around the room, do I see anyone else?
There is an older man. He's found his way into a corner and is snoozing. Yelena's got this tray with some bowls of some kind of reddish soup that she's maneuvering towards the table with. No, you I know. And she's pointing at you now, Ibrahim, and says, yes, a few weeks ago you passed through, right? None of your friends with you at that time. You! Now she points at Girder. But, you already have room here. Who are your friends?
Wait, I already have a room here?
For 3 days now?
No.
Doppelganger.
Oh.
Doppelgangers.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go hang out in this room for a moment.
Yeah, which room is?
I just want to see what the room
Which
looks
room
like.
is mine again?
Dude, I just want to chill.
Yolanda, this cheese is delicious.
Yelena.
Another round of cheese, please.
Okay.
Perhaps in the morrow you can tell us of your town and the goings on recently. For now our party is weary. We shall put down our heads.
As we start heading towards the room out of earshot of the innkeepers, I'm going to say to Girder and Berdan, fellows, let's try not to burn down the inn again on these folks.
So as we find Berdan, Pitch, Ibrahim, and Girder in the newly rented room number 5, and Haas and Moth back at the table in the common room of the tavern.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
These digitization artifacts on that
Yeah, I know.
made it so good.
Yeah, the impression was that they were going to investigate this mysterious girder, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily to go have an hour-long nap. So Haas is going to nurse his beer for about 15 minutes.
I was going to say, I didn't come up to rest. I want to go check out the door.
Okay.
So why don't we say that I hung around in the room talking for a few minutes, and then when I go out, I ran into Haas.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I would probably have gone to follow Ibrahim to that room.
The two of you head out into the hall, and you see the stocky figure of Haas coming around the corner and down the hall towards you two. Berdan, as you twist the door handle, the door appears to be locked.
And Pitch has gone for a short rest.
Yep, Pitch made it pretty clear that he was not to be disturbed.
I'm gonna go wake Pitch up.
Pitch, Berdan's trying to rouse you.
I've got a job for you.
Okay. Pitch will forego his short rest then and head out into the hallway to pick a lock.
And you rolled a nat 20, so great. You deftly picked the lock, so the door is now unlocked.
Berdan will open the door.
Tang! Make a dexterity saving throw for me.
That's just how Berdan checks for traps.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Berdan just trusts his physicality.
A bolt flies across you and buries itself in the wall opposite. It looks like the same layout, 3 beds in this room, and a window out into the courtyard that you can see through as well.
Haas will excuse himself to have a word with the hostess. Pray, madam, before our arrival this evening, do you recall when last you saw the little fellow?
Master Gnome had breakfast this morning, and then was retrieved by his lady friend. Last I saw was them, and she points over your shoulder, going out the double doors of my establishment. Meanwhile, back in the room.
Berdan, what make you of this?
Berdan's going to say a receipt or an order number, something for the blacksmith.
He could know where the doppelganger is. I think we should check it out immediately.
I will wait for the doppelganger to attempt to enter in through the window.
Oh, and I'll be at the blacksmith, so you just yell if you need anything.
Yes.
The old man eyes you suspiciously. He will stand up. So Haas, he stands a little bit away, his hand resting on one of the comfortable-looking chairs by the fire. I'm interested in meeting any newcomers to my town.
Haas will lean in conspiratorially and say, well, perhaps you can tell us of the goings-on with your alderman recently.
Easy enough for me to do, for you see, that would be me. Hello, I'm Conrad Whittlemore. 2 weeks ago, I was forcibly removed from my home. My servants either put to sword or scattered.
These are grave goings on, Alderman.
Yes, Rigo is a Red Dragon. Goons now preside over everything here.
Tell us what you know of these goons, sir.
There's quite a few of them. They all have ranks and titles, you see.
Perhaps, sir, you have observed a gnome fellow attending this establishment with a lady friend. Do you recognize the description?
I saw her a couple times, but wasn't with them at first. Exotic, perhaps you could say.
Tell me, have you happened to catch her eye?
They're green. Most remarkable green shade.
Pa sits back at this, stroking his chin, and says, "Yes, yes, yes." Tries to catch Moth's eye and see if he has keened into any of this.
Musk taking it in.
Thank you for your company, sir. Allow me to excuse myself.
Fucking sweet. Oh my god. So rad.
Ibrahim, you have set off for the blacksmith.
G'day there, smithyman.
Clang, clang, and draws the piece out of the water and places it down and comes over, rubbing his hands. Good day to you.
You might tell me for whom you have performed this piece of work. Ibrahim will hand him the slip.
He raises an eyebrow and takes the slip from you and looks at it. A piece of paper was given to an individual who I'm doing work for.
Let's just say I have reason to believe this individual may be on the wrong side of the law, shall we say. I'm a man of the Lord. This could perhaps be someone of the demonic persuasion. Let me ask what kind of business you might be running if the townsfolk were to find out you were armoring demonic creatures.
I did not know about that when I was armoring them up. However, gold coin is gold coin.
Demon.
Well, and then
You're treading on dangerous ground. Name this man, or woman, or thing.
What's your name?
I am a hero. In fact, I most recently protected this town from a raging horde of horrible goblins. I am still owed money. Money I perhaps would spend at your shop if your mouth loosened a little bit.
Oh, God. Just transmogrified into Niles Crane for a second there. He hands the writ back to you and says, I did not get the name of the gnomish fellow that asked me to modify it. He reaches into a refuse bin, pulls out a folded piece of burlap, and reveals out of that burlap a very obvious imperial insignia and says, he was quite explicit that I also removed this insignia.
Did you get the impression from the armor that he had acquired it from someone else?
Well,
Sir, you have been a great help.
Berdan, Ibrahim is walking towards you.
Berdan, I have news. Anyone who comes back to that room is a doppelganger.
Yes. Then I will grab him.
Perhaps I should wait inside the room, under the bed.
Yes, that seems like a wise spot to hide.
Ibrahim will return into the tavern, stop himself sprinting towards the stairs when he sees the group, and rush over to them. Is Whittlemore still in a chair?
Yeah.
Whittlemore, do not go anywhere. I must speak with you. However, I have business elsewhere for the moment. He'll run to the table.
Okay.
Friends, I have news. News that a set of armor was used by the doppelganger at the very blacksmith outside.
Listen here, Ibrahim. It turns out that green-eyed dragon woman might be in town in cahoots with this doppelganger of whom you speak.
You turn to see Girder step through the door with a woman with green eyes. Girder, standing beside her, says, "Oh, shit." I am glad to see all of you here. I was hoping that we could finally get around to conducting some of the business that I had mentioned to you back in Lubenek. Do you have a room here, by any chance? You guys make your way over to the room. It's crowded. You guys are like doubled up, sitting on beds. Rigo, the towering idiot, has left himself somewhat exposed, and I aim to take advantage of that. I wish to engage your group in acquiring several objects that rightfully belong in my possession, that Rigo has taken from me. Gain access to his lair, acquire for me these objects, and return them here to me in town. I'll leave it to you to discuss how you wish to proceed, and will make myself available tomorrow at dawn. I bid you adieu. She'll open the door and step out. And with that, we'll wrap it up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you, everybody.
GG.
Later, Raiders.